But first tonight, Democrats are once again poised to spend a massive, huge, monumental amount of your money. And as of now, one senator stands in their way. The last Democrat with a backbone, is it going to be Kristen Sinema? Time will tell. Now, if she does ultimately cave, the Schuman Mansion $500 billion Green New Deal energy spending spree that they purposely label as something it's not. The Inflation Reduction Act will become the law of the land. And in less than 2 years, Democrats will have added an additional $4 trillion in new spending. $4 trillion. And that includes $2 trillion of bailout to blue states like California and New York, $1.1 trillion for their Green New Deal pet projects and so-called green infrastructure, and now another $500 billion to appease the climate religious cult that rules the Democratic Party. But make no mistake, despite its name, the Inflation Reduction Act does not reduce inflation, and it will not bring down costs for anybody. In fact, look at Forbes' quote, for example. On net, this proposal is a recipe for worsening inflation and persistent economic stagnation. The Nonpartisan Tax Foundation also determined, quote, by reducing long-run economic growth, the bill worsens inflation by constraining the productive capacity of our economy. The University of Pennsylvania Wharton budget model found that this bill will increase America's inflation rate over the next 2 years. And get this, report from the Nonpartisan Joint Committee on Taxation, they have even determined that a majority of the tax costs from this bill will be borne by households earning less than $400,000 a year. Oh, I remember the president promising again and again and again he wouldn't raise taxes on people that made under $400,000. Well, guess what? Under this bill, people making under $200,000 a year, they will pay $16.7 billion in new taxes in year one, and pretty much the same amount in year two. Corporations, small businesses, especially those in the manufacturing sector, they're going to also get hit hard with higher taxes, a cost that they will pass on to you, the consumer. How many times do we have to remind you? Corporations don't pay taxes. People do. They pass the cost on to us. And that's not all. In order to squeeze you, the American people, well, some more, this bill also will more than double the size of the IRS so that everyone can experience the joy of an annual tax audit. In other words, you'll get the Hannity treatment because they just pull my file as a matter of, just general practices. Anyway, as a result, the Inflation Reduction Act, the big lie, will increase inflation. It will lower growth, ultimately eliminate 30,000 private sector jobs, according to the Tax Foundation. Why would anyone in their right mind support this bill, especially now in the middle of a recession? Senator Manchin, care to explain? Take a look.
Americans, $400,000 and below now are going to be taxed. Their taxes are going to go up.
That's a lie. That is a pure outright lie.
So their taxes are not going to go up?
Not at all.
But I want to hit that tax line again of $400,000.
Be an American.
I got to hit that. Are you saying that Mitch McConnell and others in the Senate are wrong about those numbers and that Americans' taxes are not going to go up beyond that point?
Totally, absolutely wrong. Totally wrong.
Fact check, Harris Faulkner was right. $16.7 billion year one, people making under $200,000 a year. Joe Manchin clearly either doesn't know what's in his own bill or doesn't want you to trust the nonpartisan experts at the Wharton Business School or the Joint Committee on Taxation or the Tax Foundation. They're all wrong, but he's right. No. Harris was right, and so were the three groups we just mentioned. He's asking you to put your faith in Joe Biden and the Democratic Socialist Party. After all, why would Democrats ever lie to us? Let's see, the same Democrats that promised inflation was transitory, the same people that swore that trillions of dollars in new spending could not cause inflation, the same people that claim that the United States is not really in a recession, despite, by definition, 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth, the same Democrats who stopped oil and gas exploration in the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, ANWR, other federal lands, the ones that killed the Keystone XL pipeline, and then told you that this would not have an impact on gas prices and also gave a waiver to Vladimir Putin so he could build his Nord Stream 2 pipeline. And then when gas prices did spike, the same Democrats told you to go out and buy an electric car. By the way, that car, on average, is 20 grand more than a gas-fueled automobile and charged on a grid powered 88% by fossil fuels with a battery produced from mining specific minerals from Mother Earth. Now, these are the people that Joe Manchin has chosen to trust because Joe Manchin is a typical Democrat. He tried to masquerade as a moderate. He let the people of West Virginia down. And by the way, the coal industry in particular will be hurt hard by this bill. But he's more than happy to toe the party line, especially after Schumer. Oh, look at this. They sweetened the deal. Amazing the things that go on in the swamp in Washington. He promised to greenlight a pipeline project from one of Manchin's major donors from West Virginia to Virginia. Now, in reality, no actual moderate would ever support this Green New Deal energy spending bill for any reason. It is totally and completely reckless and irresponsible. We did invite Senator Manchin on this program to defend his position. His office didn't respond to our request. Now, he did every Sunday show. Why not come on here, Joe? Just a few minutes of your time is all we ask. Now, it's a massive betrayal to the people of West Virginia. Their lives will get worse. Their taxes will go up. The cost of living will continue to rise. And for what? $3 billion to convert post office trucks into electric vehicles? $2 billion for environmental justice grants, whatever that means. $80 billion for 87,000 new IRS agents. A boatload of money for inefficient solar panels and wind turbines that, by the way, won't even put a dent in our energy grid. And by the way, Americans still suffer because of this bill. But congratulations, Joe Manchin. You're making Bernie Sanders and AOC very happy tonight. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.